Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're looking at an Audi TT. This one here, a 2004 first generation. Has just 68,000 kilometers on it. This one was bought from auction here in Japan for export over to Germany. Bigger engine version of the 3.2 liter VR6. Four-wheel drive. This one has automatic transmission. And this one's a right-hand drive, which makes it the same hand drive as the rest of Japan. Now here in Japan you can get these as right-hand drive and left-hand drive. There are a lot of German vehicles you can get in both. Some of them only come in one or the other, but you can email us if you're interested in that. This engine, oh my gosh, one of the best engines that I've ever felt. It's the same engine that's in the Mark IV and the Mark V R32 Golf. And wow, it sounds so good when you get an aftermarket exhaust. This one here has stock exhaust. Let's have a quick little look here. It's a stock dual exhaust. I'm not sure if this has the same system as the R32 Golf in that it has a bypass valve where you can bypass one of the mufflers once you get into higher RPM. If it does have that, get an aftermarket exhaust. You're not going to regret it. It sounds amazing. Okay, so this is a post-purchase inspection video. I am getting a little excited because it's been a while since we've sold an Audi TT. I think these cars are really coming into their own now, and I think that you don't get as many people kind of believing that they're not a masculine car as much as they used to. I'm not sure what it is about that. There are certain cars that people are like, you can't get that, that's a girl's car. And then it turns out that the Miata was a great car, and it turns out that these are great cars. And so, I don't know, I feel like after some time has gone by, people can start to appreciate cars a little bit better. Oil and coolant, both great. I'm going to close the hood here. I'm going to switch the engine off. Okay, and just want to show you here, the pixels from the center gauge section, some of them are missing. You can see lines that are missing. This is a really common thing on a lot of German vehicles here in Japan. Okay. And let's go ahead and translate the auction inspection sheet here. So it's a 2004 Audi TT Coupe. It's a 3.2 liter Quattro S-Line. Now you might have noticed on the front bumper, it is a little bit different. I'm not sure exactly what the S-Line is, but I believe that this is the S-Line bumper. And if I'm wrong about that, it means that's probably the late model bumper, because I know some of them don't look like that, not nearly as aggressive. And then you get a different wing in the back. And without this wing, you actually get a lot of rear end lift. So the wing is pretty much, something that you're going to want to have. It's an auction grade 4 with an interior C and an exterior C. And I think that the exterior should probably be B, and maybe the interior B too, but it has a saggy headliner that's been stapled back in. And I'll get to that down here. Right, it says that it's original silver, original mileage here, not rolled back or changed, 68,974 kilometers on there. Automatic transmission. It does have paddle shift if you want to do that. And I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that this is a DSG transmission in this one. It does feel a little bit less like a traditional automatic, but then again, I just drove it down the street and back to turn it around. Sales points are purchased from user. Still has registration until 2023. And authentic mileage in the 60,000 kilometers. Came with the owner's manual and warranty papers. Okay, so the report here says windshield rock chip. That's nothing that you need to worry about. I'm trying to look for them, but usually we can't. They're really so tiny. Interior wear and dirty, and it's really not that worn out or that dirty. Winter tires on it. Okay, it says the gauge section is missing some of the pixels in it, and the headliner is saggy and has been repaired with staples. Okay, wheels scratched, and they're not scratched that badly. Door mirror scratch, various scratches and dents. And then the body here says A3 on the front bumper. And there actually is, get out of the way of this bus, not really any other areas of damage on the front. And I'll show you this A3 right away before I do the walk around. So you look down here, this part here is scratched, and it is muddy, I'm sorry about that. This part here has a scratch, and this part here. Now that's the only scratches that are on the front bumper. As you can see, they're kind of out of the way. Have your typical frame of view. Okay. And besides that, the body's looking good and the paint condition is looking good. So Audi is a, it's a higher end brand name. People here in Japan are going to probably keep this car in quite a good state of repair. People in Japan don't usually want to get older German vehicles because of the fear of maintaining them. And of course there is something to that. Volkswagen / Audi aren't the most reliable in terms of especially electronics. Oh, looks like it's a high-ace drop-off time. But that plays a part in the purchase price of them. And the Volkswagen R32 Golf that I owned was fairly problem-free. It did have one weird problem. It told me that the hatch was open all the time when it wasn't. And that was kind of funny. But it had 330,000 kilometers on it. Original engine, original interior. And that driver's just going to take a pee in the bushes there. I think. That's really weird. Okay. So, the glass here has a few weird bubbles there. The rear seats in these, very small. I'll show you when we get in there. And I've always liked the styling of these cars. I think they look better with that spoiler in the front end like that too. Here in Japan, we've actually exported a number of the TTS from the first generation, which is kind of like the TTS of the later generations, but limited to, I think, only 200 or 500 cars. And they were only 2-seaters. I think that makes a better car. They're lighter weight too, and I think they have a few suspension changes or whatnot. Not entirely sure. We've got some fade on this section here. But those ones are a lot more expensive, like 3 times the price. Some scratches here and here. And a rock chip here. And good luck finding them as well, because, you know, with only 200 to 500 made, although they have them in Japan, they don't come up all the time. So I've always quite liked the interior of these cars. We'll have a quick look at this one. As you can see, seats look gorgeous for a, 16-year-old car now. Side bolstering on the top and the bottom are both excellent. There's no bad smell inside the car. You get these nice little aluminum scuff plates that say TT on them. Typical of Volkswagens, they put this rubber material in that's very easy to scratch. A lot of, around like the Mark IV generation, had that kind of problem. Not too sure about the Mark V actually, because I don't have that much experience with them. Bose speakers here, Audi original Bose speakers. Brushed aluminum pedals there. Original Audi toll collection box. And I might have to sign for that car that just came in. Here's another example of the deterioration of the rubber material around the key holder. Okay, now going in, we'll just turn this on. Steering wheel, barely any wear on it anywhere. Come on, let's focus, thank you. Gauge set looks good. It's a nice 4-gauge design. Dashboard, looking good. It has this, which is a reverse camera and also Navi screen. And then now you can't close this flap that's supposed to be able to close because it's too large, but I'll show you what that looks like. And that guy's gonna want a signature, so let's just point at the ground. Konnichiwa. Sign desu ka? Sign desu. いいですよね、これね。はい。はいです。It's a little bit weird. Oh, look at that, an old style plate. That means it's had the same owner for at least 20 years. Okay. Okay. Arigatou gozaimasu. Okay, that was a little bit weird, but sometimes that happens. I prefer to shoot this in one video than editing it back when I get in the office. Okay, so back where we were here. Let's jump in. You can see what the screen looks like when it's in the open section. I think this is a pretty good looking dashboard. So, looks better with that screen put away. Here we have one of the coolest seat heater controls that I've seen before. Take a look. You want the seat heaters? You push this and it pops out. And then you rotate this. And each time you rotate it, one light comes on. There's 2 lights. 3, 4, 5, 6. I quite like that. And then passenger gets the same thing. Backseat people probably don't have any feeling in their bum because of lack of space back there, so you don't need it. AC works nice and well. I'm not a huge fan of these controls. They're not spin controls. They're actually like a digital one. So if you want to go temperature, you have to go click, 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 which is annoying. If you hold it, it'll go up by itself, but it goes up rather slowly. Now, I guess if you want to just set a temperature and forget it, this works. But I prefer to, within a second, get the lowest or the highest temperature. You'll also notice that this, I just noticed for the first time here, but this piece here is busted. And let's turn that off. I don't know how to turn it off. Pull it out. Easy peasy. This one here for cigarettes doesn't look like it's been smoked in. Doesn't smell like anything. There's trunk pop and gas pop down here with your own little slider cover. I remember when this car first came out and ogling it in the showrooms and thinking, wow, this is so nice with the aluminum on the sides and kind of a pass-through design. Similar to like the EG or EF Civics. Or no, EG Civics have that. Okay. This one here is a little bit broken actually. See this cover in here? It goes away when you open it all the way, so it needs to be replaced. And then you can shift yourself here, or you can shift yourself with these. Minus on this one, plus on this one, and they go with the steering wheel. Okay, close this down, and let's have a look in the back seats, which you're probably not going to use. The seats are a dump seat, meaning they're hinged on the front and then sprung, and then the back can go up and down. Similar to like all of the Volkswagens from, I think, the Mark I Golf had that. And let's see if we can do this one-handed. Yes, we can. There's about how much leg room that you get. And I think you get a little bit of a smaller cockpit than the Mark IV in terms of leg room, because I have this seat at the full back position. It feels like it's like when I owned my Mark II Golf, I definitely didn't have it in the full back position, maybe 2 clicks forward. Okay, we've got a couple of cup holders here. Here's a look at the really nice seats in the back. A nice leather seat. They look comfortable, but yeah, you're definitely not putting more than one person in there if you put the passenger seat forward like that. The trunk is likewise not as big or utilitarian as the Golf is, but it's really nice that they maintained a hatchback. See if I can get this to open. It was giving me a little bit of troubles. Okay. And this one here is also saggy, but it hasn't been stapled in. So really easy to drop stuff in there, but it looks like you get about 30% less space than a Golf. It's longer, but it's also a lot shallower. And then flip these seats forward. And they actually hinge a little bit. That's weird. It makes it a little bit harder to push them forward. So the whole seat bottom section shifts this way a little bit. Anyway, you get the idea. Okay, inside here is your spare tire, but I didn't open that to check it. Underside looks nice and healthy. Look at this, rear camera is mounted up there. Just pop these back into place. Okay. Yes. And that 3.2 liter engine in the Golf R32 puts out 250 horsepower, which is a very nice amount for a car that's daily driven. I'm not sure how much it puts out in this car, if it's a little bit more or less. Could be either. And it runs a little bit different suspension than the Mark IV, but the same as the Golf R32. So you can swap suspension between this and the Golf R32 as far as I know. A little bit of a wider track, I believe. Okay, that's that. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. If not, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.